Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kelly Clark back with another episode for you. And today I want to talk about being disabled and trying to find a job. Um, One thing I can say is that for me personally, finding a job hasn't been easy, but I'm not quite giving up on that yet. Um, in the description of this episode, I will include some of the employment rates for people in wheelchairs, I guess, or unemployment rates. Um, I think one thing I find very difficult is the fact of trying to find a job that I would be able to do um, being disabled. I've gone a year without being employed, um, and it has been very difficult, very frustrating. Um, but, you know, I just keep trying to put a smile on my face and keep looking for work and hope I find something. Uh, you know, I think the hardest part for me of not having a job, it's not the money, it's not having something to do. I have pretty much nothing to amuse myself or entertain myself. Um, you know, and it can be difficult sometimes because we all need money, we all have bills to pay, and I really need something to do. You know, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that it's a little frustrating sometimes not having a job, not having employment. Like for instance, I applied at the movie theater here in Fort St. John, and they turned me down simply because I wouldn't be able to do the whole job. I wouldn't be able to clean the floors. Um, I'd be able to take the tickets, but that's it. And I find that very frustrating that, they won't somehow, what's the word, adapt the job so that somebody like me could do it, you know? Um, and that frustrates me because you're basically not allowing someone in the workplace because of something they simply can't control or something they had no say in. But just gotta keep going and not give up on finding employment. I joke. Um, but if any, like, let's say future employers are listening to this, for anybody who's, disabled, don't give up on the work thing. You can do it. It may just take a little time, but it is possible to get it done. Um, I know I haven't given up yet, and I don't intend to give up. I intend to keep trying until I find a job. Um, you know, and one thing I also want to mention for, you know, for the job thing is that, you know, I want a job that I'm going to enjoy, something that I'm passionate about, you know, like this podcast, for example. I started this to help people, and because I'm passionate about it, and I think it could help a lot of people like me. Um, you know, I have to say the most difficult thing about not having a job is feeling like you're kind of you're kind of, you don't have a purpose, um, because you don't work. But I've come to realize that this podcast has become my purpose and my reason. Um, you know, um, and I have to thank all the people for supporting me throughout this. And I also would like to thank the person who sent me a message on here where I post my podcast, saying that they really like my podcast and I'm doing a good job, or I'm doing a great job. Thank you very much. Um, if you're listening to this right now, I have to say to that person, thank you very much. I'm glad I'm able to inspire you, and I'm really happy that you're listening and you're enjoying this podcast. Um, I have to say to all the people who are listening to my podcast or who have listened, um, you know, thank you very much for your support. Um, you're the reason I do this. Um, you know, I want to look up something real quick. I want to see the numbers for people who don't have employment because they're disabled. Just give me a second. Um, so the unemployment rate for people with disabilities was 10.5%. Um, you know, sorry, this episode's gonna be two segments because I had to stop and look it up, do the research. Um, so yeah, that's a pretty good percentage for people in wheelchairs. And if you don't believe me, you can Google it. Um, but yeah, uh, that's 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 pretty decent number, you know. Yeah, you know. Um, the one thing I'm hoping that people people get out of this segment is that people in wheelchairs want and need jobs as well, no matter what their disability is. They should not be discriminated against for something that they didn't ask for, or something they can't control because it's not their fault. Um, you know, uh, but yeah. But if you want me to, I can also leave a link to the page that I looked up this information in. Um, I will leave it in the description of this episode. Um, you know, for me personally, not having a job has really been difficult because I'm just kind of feeling like I have no purpose. But that's one thing that this podcast has offered me. It's offered me a way of reaching out to people, and I hope to people it'll offer a beacon of hope and help people realize that people in wheelchairs are, not so different from everybody else. You know, we may be in wheelchairs and, we may not be able to walk, but we're, we're just like everybody else. And, you know, like for instance, the other day I couldn't get over this. I was in Walmart and I was buying a movie and this kid, I don't know how old he must have been. He must have been, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe a little older. Anyway, he couldn't help but stare at me. It was almost like he'd never seen somebody in a wheelchair, and he just kind of had this blank expression on his face. Um, it was kind of funny, you know, but sometimes, I mean, you just gotta wonder, like, do parents, not teach their children about people in wheelchairs, or were they not taught themselves about people in wheelchairs? Um, this is a question that has always puzzled me, and I would like to know everybody's thoughts on this. Um, you know, I just find it funny that kids. I know they're kids, but it's funny when they stare at you because it's almost like they're astounded because they've never seen anyone like that. And to me, I've always found it not just a little annoying, but also kind of funny to watch. Um, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just I never know what to say when a person's staring, or I never know what to say to the parents that don't bother to teach their children about people in wheelchairs, you know, and yeah. Um, anyway, I'm getting off topic. This segment's supposed to be about employment. um, I think for me, I think the one thing that I'm proud of when I do get a job is the fact of I feel like I'm contributing to society, you know, helping society. And that's the way I also feel with this podcast is, um, I feel like if people, listen to this podcast, I think they're not just going to get, you know, the side of the story from a person who's not disabled. They're going to get one. They're going to get a new and a fresh perspective on things, or at least I hope. Um, you know, and I'd like to thank the people who are encouraging me to do this podcast. My wonderful friends, my family. Um, I truly believe that I could help people with this, and if I can, so be it. You know. Anyway, off topic again. Um, you know, I'm I'm really hoping to get a job soon, and I'm really looking forward to going back into the workforce. Um, and I would like to personally thank my last employer at the Fort St. John Lido, Brian Kirshner, for employing me. I know I kind of got tired of the job at the end, and I'm sorry. Um, uh, you know, but I am so grateful to you for the opportunity that you gave me for the job. And, you know, and I hope in my next adventure with employment, um, I hope that it'll be a job that I can enjoy a lot, something to be proud of, you know, something worth doing, something I don't get tired of doing. Um, you know, but yeah, uh, there's one more thing I would also like to touch on for people with disabilities, especially for people in Fort St. John, where I live. Um, a lot of places in Fort St. John are not wheelchair accessible. Um, I know that's got nothing to do with the employment side, but I just wanted to add that to my podcast because it was on my mind. Um, anyway, if anybody listens to this, I hope they enjoy it, and I look forward to my next episode. Thank you very much. Have a good one. This is Kelly Clark signing off.